So over the last few years, I've been trading quite actively, almost every single day. And like many of you, I've encountered some difficult experiences learning how to trade, and had some great lessons through this process, which has helped me now to a point where my trading days are very pre-planned. I prefer as a trader to have most of my risk measures really honed in and controlled. But most importantly, it's about ensuring that I have a clear plan that I can trust. And this plan allows me to perform at my very best. So like many of you, understanding the concept of risk management was really, really important. And ensuring that I do whatever I can to prevent tilt. In my experience, I've personally experienced some unforgettable tilt days. But within these tilt days, I've taken the liberty of really focusing on what it is that I'm doing wrong and what do I need to do in order to prevent or mitigate the risk of being able to go on tilt. So for me personally, it's been an awakening process in ensuring I know who I am as a person and how this can impact my trading day to day. I day trade in the US stock market. I specifically trade options. And with options comes a lot of risk. But if you know how to manage your risk and spend enough screen time analyzing your trades, if you can create a system that ensures that by the end of the week, ideally, you have a positive expected return, and you create measures, specifically rules, to ensure that you perform at your very best every single trading day. And then you have the evidence from backtesting and reviewing your trades on a daily basis, recording your trades. These type of measures have really helped me get an objective view of where I am as a trader, where I want to be, and some of the things that create emotional trading and how I can eliminate that entirely. I really enjoy the days, and most of my trading days are like this now, where it's completely stress-free. I'm able to trade with precision, with a plan, and a few of these things have really helped, which I wanted to talk about in this video. The first being, do you have a pre-market trading routine? Do you understand your account size and the dollar risk that you should be taking on a trade? Do you understand how many trades it takes for you to blow the entire account? These were things that I never really asked myself until probably halfway through my trading career so far. So my pre-market routine is absolutely essential for me. If I don't commit and deliver on a really well thought out pre-market plan, and this has nothing to do with technical analysis. This has everything to do with risk measures, because at the end of the day, as a trader, you want to produce a profit. And in order to produce a profit, you need to understand how much you're losing per trade, given the trading style that you have. And when you make money, what is your highest probability return that you make in a trade? So some of the key metrics in my pre-market plan that I prepare for is understanding how much I want to risk per trade suitable to my account. This is based on a dollar amount. And say if I'm trading options, I know that for every contract, the dollar amount that I'm willing to risk, and I have a strict stop loss at that level, because that's where I've tested out over years where the trade can invalidate itself, and most likely I will lose that much per trade. For example, some traders they prefer to set a stop loss on their premiums for call or options at around 50 cents per contract. For me personally, I've done 30 cents because after hours and hours of watching trading footage of my own trading and recordings, I've realized that my winners typically don't need more than 30 cents. And if the trade premium goes to 30 cents, either I've entered at the wrong level, where I've overpaid on the premium for a call or puts contract, or the trade is invalidated. So it's better that I get out at that moment. And I've also set in automatic levels where it automatically takes me out, reduces hesitation, because it just allows me to be able to make objective decisions on a trading basis and not have to press the button manually. So this is, for example, something that's really helped me. So in the pre-market prep, I know how much I'm risking dollar per trade, how much my contract is expected to lose value if I'm losing. And by focusing on how many trades I need to take to get into green, or how many trades I'm willing to take on the day before I call it quits, I'm able to make objective decisions on my performance rather than make emotional decisions. Say, for example, I have a rule where if I lose 2 times within the trading session, I trade the first hour to 1.5 hours of the market open, US stock market open. If I lose 2 trades, which is about 1 hour per trade, or if I hit the max daily, which is 2 losses, I stop. I don't even think about it anymore. And this prevents me from going on tilt. So that pre-market routine is really, really essential for me. If I don't have a pre-market routine, and you might be wondering how long do I spend on this? It's about half an hour. I go over the same routine day in and day out, and I know this is the level of preparedness that I need to have to ensure that I don't go on tilt. Because 99% of the times that I've lost more money than I was originally supposed to was when I took an extra trade after 2 losses, or if I oversized and didn't have a proper idea what I'm going to risk per trade. So having a pre-market routine is super important for me. I prefer to give myself enough time. You know, if you're working full-time, or if you are, dealing with customers or clients and you have a side gig and trading is just something you're starting off with, or if you're doing it full-time, preparing in advance for these type of moments where you're about to perform, it just alleviates the stress and the anxiety you might have. And just planning is an essential part of who I am. And this pre-market plan is really, really important. Another thing that has really, really helped me have an objective view over my trading, because like all traders out there, I also want to be able to have consistency and be able to ensure that I'm able to perform at my best. And if the market is not providing the opportunities, my risk measures are still intact, because there's always another trading day. So another aspect that's really helped me is I have 2 spreadsheets of the entire year, going month by month, and you can use trading software as well. But with this spreadsheet, I have my actual results and my ideal results. And I review this as part of my pre-market plan because I want to know, am I performing based on what I was supposed to? And if I go back earlier this year in 2025, like I can see months where had I just stopped after 2 trades, full 1 hour losses, meaning I'd lost 2 hours on the day, I would have been in a different situation for that month. And then as these months sort of add up, becomes a year. So having these 2 spreadsheets side by side, or an idea of where I want to be versus what my actual results are, allows me to hardwire my brain into thinking, okay, I'm about to go in for the market open. Stocks are volatile. You know, I trade, like many of you, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, all the like, and I trade options. So if I know that following my plan is objectively going to get me a better result. And sometimes on the day, it might be like, oh, you don't follow your plan and you make money. That could be a great thing in the short term, but in the long term, if it becomes a habit and you're consciously making that effort to do that, you might start a habit that's not really helpful in the long term. So knowing that for months and months and having that noted down has been really, really helpful. So having those two spreadsheets next to me have helped me ensure that I'm performing at my best, and my objective plan, the ideal outcome of that plan, is being followed through at the best, to the best of my abilities. And the last thing I want to touch up on is, do you not just have the discipline, but do you have the capability to look yourself in the mirror on a daily basis and accept that you will lose? And a lot of the traders that I've followed over the years, and a lot of the traders that I respect quite a bit, have made the statement, you know, be a really great loser. And originally that was to me like, okay, I just have to take a loss. But I faced hesitation when taking losses. And it wasn't until I started creating these rules and trust with my plan that, hey, look, if I take the loss on this trade, it doesn't mean I'm a bad trader. What it's actually telling me is that, have I planned for this loss? Yes. Is that the predetermined amount? Yes. So I'm having control over the outcome of this trade if it goes against me. And by focusing on my losses, because I have this saying that, you know, it's not my winning trades that have kept me from the ideal outcome of my trading performance. It's my losses. By truly understanding what that really means and having the data to back it up has been incredibly helpful for me. And one of the things that I found that was probably the most useful, because I come from a background where I love technology, but I also love data. And whether it's self-improvement or tracking your health data, or if you're in fitness, being able to have the data by recording your screen, recording your reaction, and just knowing, okay, this is how the option premiums react, this is how this stock specifically behaves. All of this information has helped me really trust the system that I've created. So where I'm trying to go at with this is that if you've struggled in the past, or you're currently struggling, you're going through a red streak on the day, on the week, on the month, or if you're just not sure if you're doing the right things in the market, first of all, do you have the data to review the files? I think one of the, like I didn't really actively watch sports, for example, but I did admire some of the performance metrics that kept a lot of these athletes in really good shape and performing really well. For example, like Kobe Bryant and many of the Hall of Fame basketball players, they used to review their footage often to understand what's happening on the court. And in the heat of the moment, it's really hard to keep a track of that, right? You might forget things. You know, I forget things all the time. So having this recording procedure over the last few years has really helped me not only understand myself as a trader, where I'm making mistakes that I can, for example, fix in the future, but also allows me to understand the instruments that I'm trading, for example, options or stocks, and the different characteristics of these individual stocks. So overall, what I'm trying to say here is that I've benefited a lot from approaching trading as a business, but what I really mean by that is taking it really seriously to ensure that what are the top reasons why most traders or day traders or investors or options traders, why do they fail? And they fail because they don't either understand what they're trading. It's more random for them. They treat it as a hobby, so it will remain a hobby. Or more importantly, do they even do the right things on a daily basis outside of the market hours to prepare for the next day? And so having a pre-market routine, having a spreadsheet just tracking my performance and what the ideal performance would be like had I followed my plan, and most importantly, being absolutely honed in on ensuring that I control my losses. This has helped me incredibly, and I can't tell you how much I wish I knew this at the beginning of when I started trading. I, like many traders, started just before all this crazy volatility occurred after the pandemic. But more importantly, I used to trade stocks, penny stocks. Now I'm focused on options just because I like the downside risk control you have over it. But even with options, like, tell me you've been there where you take a trade, you have a mental stop loss, you know where it is on the chart, and you say you're going to do it, but you don't do it. Then you're like, oh, look, I got a great discount opportunity. I can average down. And then suddenly you've gotten more contracts than you ever planned for. Your whole account's at risk, and the premiums are bleeding. And you're just like, how did I get here? So it was a really painful process for me, but I'm grateful that I did that, was to start recording my trades, every single trade, tracking it, just like, what was I planning to do on this trade? Why did I take this trade? What was my exit strategy if I was wrong? How did I manage it on the upside? And then overall, just day by day, taking that time off the screen and reviewing the results, reviewing the spreadsheets, reviewing the recordings, so that when I come to the market open, I'm not nervous. I just know that losing is part of the game. I have more wins than losses. I have to make sure that I manage those wins as well, but that I keep my risk in mind. And overall, this has helped me, remain consistent, but also, take the grief out of trading, because trading can really impact you in such a way that you question your skill set. You question if you have, degrees or education, like, was it worth it? Can I bring any of that experience into this? And it can really take you through some tough times. So I hope that this video, as random as it is, and I try to go over what I could think of off the top of my head. I had some notes, but obviously I'm recording at the same time. So if you have trading struggles, would love to know in the comments, but just approach it like you would approach other things that you are passionate about. If you're in a different field and you're getting into trading, just know that it's incredibly hard. But those that have a plan and are consistently trying to tweak and improve themselves, not just by, going all in on the next big stock, but actually having a system that consistently produces results. Create a pre-market routine, know what you're risking, have an idea of where you're going with this trading, from the actual results to the ideal results, make tweaks, and then have a rule-based system where you don't question your rules anymore. You've created rules that you're never going to change, and these rules are, science-based. They're backed by real studies, and then you can, at least have a stress-free day while you're in the markets. You can have a positive expected return every week. You take your focus off of the moment now in this trade and what the result will be on this trade, and know that your actual results, because you've back tested it, you have a plan, you have a strategy that works, you have patterns that you're taking if you're a pattern day trader. However you trade, you at least know that you're doing the right things now, even if they're difficult, because your plan says that based on my previous data, this would have produced results. So my job is now to be as consistent and almost robotic as possible. Of course, you're going to make decisions based on experience and intellect, and you're just going to have those gut feelings too. That's also important, but somehow include that into your data. Like, why am I getting out of this trade before the 1 hour loss? Because this trade has already invalidated itself before it hit my level. These are some things you're just going to have to figure out, but by having the data to back it up, and then going into the trading day with a mindset, you're just better off not screwing up. Because the top 3 reasons I think what most traders fail is They hold their losses, they oversize, and they overtrade. So hope you gained value from this video, and hope you guys have a great trading week. Take it easy.